Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Pop-Up Podcast here live at When Words Collide. I am your host, Lucas Stiano, and I am here with...
Grace Meikle.
Hello, Grace. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So, how have you been enjoying When Words Collide so far?
Oh, it's awesome. This is my third year that I've been here.
Oh, perfect. This is just my second. Yeah, and it's such a great time. Having a lot of fun. We're on the second day of the event, and yesterday, did you peek around? Did you see anything interesting panel-wise?
I did a lovely workshop called Make It Gayer with Finian Burnett and Andrea Buckley. It was fantastic.
I actually talked to the former yesterday and talked about that panel. It sounded like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So, are you yourself a writer?
Yes, I write speculative fiction, mostly science fiction because my background's in science, but dabble in some magical realism as well.
Oh, that's cool. When it came to kind of getting into science fiction, kind of what kind of spurred you to kind of step into the world of writing there?
So I work in climate and energy, and I don't read too many books where I think that's represented really well, or especially in a positive way.
Okay.
In a way that gives people tools to think about it in a constructive way. So that's what I really want to write is positive science fiction that helps people think about new technologies and about how that they can help the climate.
That's great. Yeah. I've heard from a couple people at this event so far putting positive spins on topics or subject matter that usually isn't portrayed in the best light, and not always intentionally, just it kind of falls into the stereotypes. And when it comes to science fiction, the climate is usually used as an antagonistic force. So really interesting to have more perspective on putting a positive spin on that. What kind of inspired you to choose science fiction as your genre of choice? Was that kind of just always in your head?
Yeah, so my background is in physics.
Yes.
And I'm a big advocate for nuclear energy technology.
Okay.
So one of the things that I run into most often in my work is that people are really scared of nuclear energy because of the waste.
Yeah.
And I actually believe that in the future, the waste will be used as a resource. So my novel that I'm working on is about future humans actually coming back to scavenge nuclear repositories for energy.
Okay.
To build kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. To build
that's
a future
cool.
Society. So I like just kind of turning it on its head a little bit.
Interesting. I mean, the best sci-fi is what can turn everything on its head. So that's great. Would you say when it comes to your writing, would you have a certain inspiration, whether it be a piece of work or another writer, that kind of informs how you see your worlds when you're kind of coming up with what you're writing?
So two writers that I really like that are actually local are Primi Mohammed.
Yes.
She writes speculative fiction, and she also has a science background. She's from Edmonton. And then another writer I really like is Deborah Willis. She's from Calgary. She wrote Girlfriend on Mars.
Okay.
And neither of them are, I guess I would say, hard science fiction, but they really explore some of these topics in a new way, in a really carefully considered way.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as time goes on, we see more and more, I guess you could say, reinvention of old genres that have been around for as long as we can remember. And I think sci-fi is kind of at the forefront of that because science is always changing our understanding. So
yeah, and crossover science fiction to make it more accessible to people.
Oh, yeah.
And not so technical. And I always wanted to write something that my grandma would read, or somebody who doesn't necessarily go for science fiction off the shelf.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think making it as approachable as possible to people who aren't in science or don't understand everything there is to know about a given subject. I think that's definitely the way to make it more appealing to a broader audience. And would you say that, like you said, you're putting a spin on science fiction. Would you say there's a certain work that you know or enjoy that also kind of put more of a positive spin on things compared to a lot of other science fiction?
Oh, that's tough. Let's see. So I mentioned Primi Mohammed. She has a series that starts with Annual Migration of Clouds. It's not so much a positive spin, but it's about kind of this post-world. I was actually just over at Edge's booth there, and they have a short story collection. It's called The Green Man. Man. And Green Man is a masculine version of Mother Earth. And so maybe positive is not quite the right word, but it explores sort of like a different angle of what if the Earth was fighting back, and what
Yeah.
if the Earth won?
Yeah, that's
and
great.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like, so maybe positive's not quite the right word, but just not so like, I guess I don't like things that are very defeatist. I like things
yeah,
that are,
Yeah.
So
Oh no, I absolutely agree. There's always room for that kind of thing, but I think in a world of downer stories,
Yeah.
I talk about the apocalypse. I think some lighter fare is also
Yeah.
of good use. But so, do you have any? Like you said, you're currently writing the book that you had talked about before about the nuclear repository. After that book is complete, are you planning to continue with science fiction or branch out into other genres?
glad you asked, because I have another project I'm really excited about. So I got an Alberta Foundation for the Arts grant for the first time this year.
Oh, congratulations!
It took me a couple tries, so if you've tried before and failed, try again. But it's to write this project. I've actually been working on it for over a decade, and it's a magical realism novel about the aftermath of. Do you remember Fukushima?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's about the aftermath of the Tohoku earthquake that led to that disaster in 2011, and we're actually coming up on the 15-year anniversary. And a lot of my upbringing was in Japan, and I spent a lot of my career working on the aftermath of that, and so it's a topic very dear to my heart. But I think there's just kind of an untold story about the tsunami and some of the things that maybe didn't come across in the media, and that maybe will be told better in a speculative way. So I'm really excited about that project. I'm going to be going to Japan. I'm going to be meeting with the local community, and there's also an Edmonton Japanese Community Association. So
very cool.
Super excited about that project.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when the book you're currently writing is done, and when you eventually get to that, if someone out there listening wanted to find your work, where could they go?
So I do have a newsletter. It's called Writer versus Climate. It's my new newsletter. And then you can also just, if you just search me, like I'm on social media and LinkedIn and things like that. I have a few short stories published, and so I have them on my website as well. So if you shoot me a message or you can subscribe to my newsletter, then you can find my stories.
Fantastic. And one more thing I was thinking, you had said that part of the reason you want to write science fiction and like speculative fiction is because you have a background in science and climate. For any writers out there, sci-fi or otherwise, who want to write those kind of stories but don't have the life experience living that topic or subject matter like you do, what would you suggest for gaining more knowledge in a way that can help with writing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that I think that one thing that is helpful is to learn about what's going on locally, because some of these topics are very complicated, and it really depends where in the world you are, what the answer is. So the company I work for is actually called Emissions Reduction Alberta, and we recycle carbon tax paid by heavy industry like oil and gas into green technologies. And so if you go to their website, we have hundreds of new technologies that come out. We have videos, we have podcasts in different ways that are just accessible. So I would recommend that just because I think it can be challenging to find unbiased media about these complex global topics.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's lots of ways you can go about it, research, but that would be kind of an easy way, I think, to access some of the stuff that's just going on around us. And also, I think I find it really encouraging myself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, no, I know. I definitely agree. It's encouraging. I myself, I used to live in Ontario, and near where I lived in Windsor, there was headquarters, or at least one of the headquarters for a BioBest, which
amazing.
And so I went there a few times and got to see the ways that people were working to help with.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see it firsthand.
Absolutely.
And just, there's so much going on, but that maybe doesn't always make big headlines.
Yeah,
It's also hard, so it takes a while before the flashy thing happens.
Yeah, negativity and flashy is what drives headlines.
And people are very impatient, and it's just not going to happen overnight. So, anyway.
No, but absolutely. Really cool. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But that's fantastic. I know you said where people could go to find your work. Do you have any social media or places where people could go to find you specifically?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, and then I'm on LinkedIn, and also Blue Sky, but probably LinkedIn or Instagram is the easiest place to find.
Fantastic. But thank you so much for sitting with me today. This has been great. Very eye-opening.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, thank you for telling me all about your books. They sound super interesting.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Definitely going to keep an eye out for it.
luck.
Oh, of course. Good luck. Yeah. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. You definitely seem like a person who knows what they're talking about with this type of thing, and can't wait to see more science fiction out there.
I am presenting on a session tomorrow. It's on writing climate and energy.
Awesome. Yes, Sunday. When Words Collide on writing climate. Definitely check that out. Sounds super cool. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to all those listening, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more from the Pop-Up Podcast live at When Words Collide. Thank you.